Hello and welcome to Tech Town,
Tech Town!
Season 3, Episode 6 of the place where you find all things tech. Yeah, we just got done watching the debate, so I'm all jabberwock it up. I can't even think about making words in front of you right now. I'm going to be very particular about the way that I say the rest of my words today. I'm Mr. Ellsberg. This is our town wizard.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking to you today about websites.
Yeah.
Building websites.
Yeah, building a website. You know, everybody's got to build a website. I mean, if you haven't yet built a website, you haven't lived.
That's right. We are in construction right now all the time. And you know what? It's the thing is like people think like build websites. Impossible.
Well, have you ever tried to build a website?
I have built a website before.
Okay, how did it go?
It was impossible.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you from it being impossible to it being possible.
Okay.
Because it really is. There are so many tools out there, so many ways to do it, so many things. It's basically like there's too many ways to do it. So that's why we're here, is to narrow them down. Okay,
let's get the goods.
Exactly.
Right? We're going to make sure that you who are going to be looking at building a website can use your time the most efficiently.
Right. Yeah, because it does take a lot of time, or it used to take a lot of time. So it's good to know the things that could take you the least amount of time.
Right. We're going to show you the tricks.
There are websites that help you build websites. So that's great. There used to not be that. You basically used to have to either program it all yourself, or there used to be some sort of programs. I don't know if you ever remember hearing about Dreamweaver. That was forever ago. But it was
Steve Miller Band. Wonderful song.
Yeah, he helps make websites.
Oh, Dreamweaver.
So anyway,
hold me through the night.
Boom, website. So Dreamweaver was a program that you could have on your computer, and it would help you, like, it was sort of like Photoshop, but then would end up in a website.
Okay.
Or Paint, or whatever photo editing program you can think of.
Right.
I mean, it was more of what you see is what you get. And that acronym, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG, is an important acronym because it actually kind of means these, especially with building websites, these tools that it's more visual rather than just code.
Okay.
So back in the day, you used to look for a WYSIWYG program to help you build a website. Right. Now you might look for a WYSIWYG website to help you build a website.
Right.
They probably don't call it that anymore, so that's probably useless.
So is that why all websites used to look the same? Or a lot of them did?
Well, that's one of the reasons. There used to be a lot less ability to make it look fancy.
Okay.
And that's where CSS came in. We'll talk about that in a second.
Sweet.
So at first it was you had to program your own. Now you got some of these things to help you out.
Right.
What they're really doing behind the scenes is these sort of programming concepts, like a language called HTML. There's a language called JavaScript. There's a language called CSS.
Right.
These things are the building blocks of what a website is. And then when you can have these other websites that help you build a website, what they're doing is they're using their website to then end up with HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Okay. So really, that's all it is in the end. But what these websites are doing is they're helping you get there.
Right. So they're not going to make you go down to the coding language.
Right.
You're not going to have to learn each one of those. They're going to give you a little bit of help.
Right, exactly. And that's like one of the best reasons is because the people that don't know that or don't want to learn the code part can actually still make a website.
Right.
And so a good example of this is Squarespace. So Squarespace is one of the most popular these days. And it's a website. You just go to squarespace.com. And it's great because they'll start you out with templates. And a template might be more of a futuristic look versus a pink, or a colorful rainbow look, or versus lots of animation. So they have these different kind of feels to them. And then you can customize it with what you want. So you can change the title. You can say it's going to be my blog. Or you can start selling things. So that's another thing is you may want to start an online store.
Right.
There's a couple different reasons. We didn't even talk about why you might want to build a website. That can be for another time.
Right.
But they have a lot of good, whether they call them widgets or little tools, it's ways that you can add not only just a title, but pictures. Right. And not only just one picture, but a gallery of pictures.
Everything that you would want on a store. So you break down, like, what does a store, an online store like Amazon have? Well, they got a search bar. Well, they got a list of different items on the side that might be like what you're looking at, or just single it down. And then maybe you have your little spot over there that says you can pay, right over here, or your picture or whatever it is that you got, and then other little pictures that show different sides of the things you got.
Exactly. So so if you go to most any website that's either a blog or maybe an online store or a gallery of some sort, they have very similar core concepts.
Right.
Like you say, there's like a search bar, there's some login, you got to sign up for an account. There's descriptions of items, the fact that there are items, whatever that means. If it's a blog, there's a new post, a new thing was written, there's a subject line. So there's all these things that sort of have things in common. And what's great about Squarespace and these others that I'm about to mention is that they start out with those common things. And they say, you probably want to add one of these things. We'll let you add some of them here, some of them there. We can let you reorder it a little bit. And then you don't need to know any code. You can just go for it. So what's great about them is you can get that done. Impressive. And especially, I was mentioning Squarespace. I think Squarespace is a good choice, mainly because it is sort of the most popular, which actually in a lot of ways sometimes is just important just to be popular, because you have people that can help you, or people that have written articles about it or help solve problems. And to be able to Google for answers is always huge. So, but also it has really good templates that are responsive. And responsive is a word that they mean for when you have different screen sizes. So like when you have your desktop or your laptop and the big web page that looks all huge, versus when you're on your phone, a smartphone, and you see the small version of the web page and it has to like reorganize things, or maybe not display as much information. And you can really tell when when the companies do it right or wrong, because when they do it wrong, it's basically these websites are unusable, or they're really small, or something just doesn't work. So Squarespace does a really good job of making it look really nice on all of those devices.
That's a really hard thing, because I mean, if you think about it on your regular page, like if we were just talking about when we talked about Amazon earlier, if you have all these different little options on the side, if you have that on your phone, that's just way too much going on.
Too much.
You're like, how do you get a finger small enough to,
Yeah, exactly. And what you may think is that, okay, well, you get it looked this one way on this page, and then this way, or sorry, on this size screen, and then this way on this size screen. But what if you change things? What if you add another item? Or what if you want to add a new field or a new something? That's not an easy problem to make it look good on both ways and add new things and sort of change stuff. So really, some of these websites like Squarespace really try to make it easy for you to add things without having to worry about all that.
Very cool.
Now, I'll mention actually a couple other of these and say a little bit about the good parts, and then I'll talk about the bad parts. So another one that's actually I heard about more recently is called Sitecast. Sitecast looks really great. We know what they think, because
is that for fishermen?
Turns out no. Well, it could be. If you want to make a fisherman's website. Perfect. So Sitecast is similar to Squarespace, where you just go and you can make a website. But it has another little concept of how they sort of let you add things. And I think it's a pretty cool way, where it's more of like, on any given screen, you can kind of add whatever you want. Squarespace is more of like, on this screen, here's what you got. On this screen, here's what you got. They not only let you add a little more on wherever you want, they have more kinds of things. So like you can add some audio things pretty easily. And I think that's a good one, or video things. Squarespace is getting into that, and they're all competing. They're all doing pretty good. But I think this one is worth checking out. Yeah,
it's nice to have different things going on your page at once. Differentiate yourself.
Exactly.
Or maybe you're selling audio or videos. Especially videos. You gotta have videos.
Yeah, you gotta have videos. It's the web these days. Everybody's got video. Okay, so a couple other services that do the same sort of thing. One of them is Wix. Wix is another one. Not too much to say about that, because I haven't used it very much. I think it's very similar to Squarespace, but check it out. Now Shopify. Shopify is a little bit different, because they very much specialize in online stores. So Squarespace can make an online store, and Wix can make an online store, but Shopify really focuses on it, and they give you a few more features, a little more flexibility of how you want to add commerce. E-commerce is what they call this sort of thing to your site. So you can, let's say you're selling clothes, or you're selling digital audio or video. They help you out with that. That's kind of their thing.
Which is cool, because everyone has tried to sell something at one time or another. And if you have a passion about creating, you could really look into using something like Shopify.
It's true. If there's any way that you can start just a little Shopify website with something that you make or you build or you're willing to sell, that's so easy to do, to then see if anybody's willing to buy it. I think it's a great way to go. Okay, so those are more for the people who never really want to code or look at that sort of stuff. You just want to throw something together. There's also some things in between. So there's one called Contentify, and there's a popular one called WordPress.
Right.
Where you don't quite code all the time, but it's a little less easy or simple than some of these other ones. But because there's more flexibility to do the things that you want.
Right.
So when you start using Squarespace or Sitecast or Shopify, you start to learn they're really only letting you do this certain amount of things. Those are probably the things you want to do, but still not always.
Yeah, there's like little things that you want to make your site like curtail to your customers, or the people who are going to visit your site, or even yourself. You know, like I want this on my website because it's me.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
And if I don't have this, then I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. And I would say more about even like what you want on your website. It's how it's going to look or act.
Right.
Like you may not want that it goes from this page to this page. You might want it to go to this page in between. Or you don't like that this thing is over here. You want it kind of over there.
Right.
Sometimes they let you do that, but not always. And there are so many things that you will see that you want to customize or change about where it is or how it works.
Right.
That you then realize why people would build it from scratch, because there's just so many ways that you'd want to tweak it that they don't let you.
Yep.
So some things like Contentify and WordPress, you can get in a little more with some of the code and do more of those things. That said, you got to give credit to Squarespace and Sitecast and Shopify and Wix and all these people, because they do now bring in some of that. But it's a very abrupt wall. They like say, you don't have to code, just pick out what you want, it'll work. And then you start to realize, oh, it doesn't quite work, and you want to maybe get in there and change stuff. And they're like, okay, well, if you're sure, click here and we'll expose some code. Yep. And then they do, and you can actually get in there and change the code. So someone who has had experience with code that's actually really great, because then you can get in there and kind of take what great base they gave you, because that would have taken forever to build yourself, and then you can tweak things here and there. Doesn't always work, doesn't always have everything you need, but it is a great way to sort of customize. So if you know a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that shouldn't stop you from using things like Squarespace, because then you can get in there and actually change it.
Yeah, so mad props to them for opening it up.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yes, mad props.
That's the thing, is like you can only point out the cliff to somebody. It's their deal if they want to jump off in their flight suit.
That's well played, well played. All right, so yeah, I just gotta say, if you want to build your own website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, do it. It's great. You know, starting from scratch, you can do whatever you want. You can learn how to tweak everything. The sky's the limit, so just learn it.
Exactly. Get out there and try. You know, try and fail, and it's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And learn.
Oh yeah.
You know, start moving that brain.
Move that brain.
Yeah, which brings us to
the music.
What's on the week? Website. Music.
So this week's website of the week is the ZREOmusic.com, Zreo Music, and it is all Zelda music that has been they call it reorchestrated. I think just made to sound a little bit better or redone in better quality. Of all the Zelda music.
Okay.
From all the, I don't know about all the Zelda, but I mean, once you look at this page, you see how much work he went into making all the music. So from this game and that game and this game and that game and all these songs and these games.
Oh my gosh.
So let's just hear a little bit of this. And they're all just immediately there. They're all free, and they're all really good quality sounding. So. Oh yeah, beautiful. This is Calling for Giants from Majora's Mask.
I mean, I'd go if I was a giant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, bring my 3 buddies.
Castletown.
Nice.
So check them out. There are just tons of great Zelda music, and everybody loves Zelda music. So come on.
That's right. Okay, and that brings us finally to
security. You gotta learn security.
Lock up your things.
So now this week on security, we're going to talk about the stage fright vulnerability.
Ooh.
So I like that everybody's giving words or names to the security vulnerabilities out there.
Right. So why don't they just put down what it is to be scared of being out in public in front of people? You know, like as Is that like the same? Are they going to start naming these like they name hurricanes after people, but after like fears, like arachnophobia? You know what I mean?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be way too many to limit to any category of anything now. So you just have to say any name you want.
All right. So stage fright.
Stage fright. Okay. So stage fright was a vulnerability that was found actually a little while ago. And when it was found, what they found happens is that people can send a specific malicious text message to your phone, your Android phone. It's only affecting Android. And that text message isn't just a normal text message. It has weird characters and all this weird stuff to make then your phone basically hacked. And that they can do whatever they want.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Dang.
So it was found out in the wild, and it was happening. Sometimes they find some of these things in private and then fix them before it's out there.
Right.
But they found it, and it was out there, and people were getting it. So now it's sort of fixed, and you got to upgrade your phone. So by the way, Android people always upgrade.
Always upgrade.
I guess update.
Update.
Anyway.
And upgrade.
Oh yeah, if you want to get a new phone. Sure. But what's even worse is that it kind of came back. They found even more problems.
Oh no! So what does it do?
So what's funny about some of these things is it does the worst it can do.
Okay.
Which is whatever they want.
Oh.
So it specifically, all it does is give access and control to somebody else and to run whatever code they want.
Right.
So then the question is, well, what does that do? And it's hard to explain. It's just whatever they want. It depends on what state your phone's in. You know, it can get all your photos, find all your contacts, start emailing all of them. If you have any credit card information on there that's stored, maybe it's encrypted properly, but maybe not. Some apps don't do it right. So yeah, so basically just think of it. It could possibly get all your things.
Oh man.
So just make sure it's updated. I have a link in the notes below the video, a link you can check out the most updated news about it. But basically, it's just one more thing that people get you, and you got to update.
Yeah, you got to update. I mean, we try to talk about it here every week when we talk about security. Is update your things. Update. You got to look for the update. Get the software update. Protect yourself.
True.
Because you're always out there. You don't just walk out with your wallet on the outside of your pants. No, you got pockets.
Right.
All right, you got to update your pockets. All right, guys, we talked today about websites.
Build one.
We talked about Zelda music.
Listen to it.
We talked about stage fright.
Don't have it.
That's right. We'll see you guys here again next week at Tech Town.